Howdy! Today I'm going to walk you through my little get home bag. I'm a college student, and so my main scenario in mind is something goes down and I've got to maybe walk home from campus, which is something I could accomplish in a day. Or also, like, say the building is on fire and I need to grab one thing and go out the door. This could be the first thing I grab. So let's just first take a look at the bag. I don't actually know what bag this is off the top of my head. You know, it's got nice hip straps, or waist belt. I've used it for backpacking. I like it. I used it because it's what I had. Also fully loaded. It weighs about 22.5 pounds in its current state. Let's start actually with stuff on the outside of the bag. First, over on this side, we have a metal water bottle, full of water all the time. Of course, you want to have water to drink, and also, if I had to, I could boil water in here because it is metal. So we're going to set that all up there. And then, flipping around to the front on the outside, in this little front pouch here, I have a cheap orange vest. And that's not less so I could like impersonate a construction worker, and more for if I had to walk along a highway or I needed high visibility for some reason. And then I also have just a pair of work gloves right here on the outside, and then I think I have some like shopping, just plastic bags in there as well. I also have on the front here, a sleeping pad that just kind of folds out for backpacking. That would make a big difference for comfort if I had to sleep, whether it's in the woods or like on a concrete floor in a FEMA shelter or something. It also can help with maintaining heat, but I'll leave that on there for now. Going into like the brain of the bag, the top compartment, I just kind of have a whole jumble of stuff in here. Really any small stuff that I didn't want to be loose in the main compartment of the bag. I do want to kind of tidy this up at some point and get it a little bit more organized. First off, I've got a titanium spork in here, which I thought about putting with my food stuff, but it just didn't really fit. But just a nice little lightweight, long handle spork. Then in a little bag, mostly just for protection and mild waterproofing, and because I don't have a better case for it, I have a compass that has a mirror on it. Pepper spray. This is the only form of, unless you count like a small knife or a multi-tool, this is the only form of self-defense I have in my bag. It is allowed on my campus, but it's not allowed on every campus, so if you want to do that, make sure to check your local rules and regulations. I have one glow stick for signaling or just making sure you're not tripping over stuff at night. I also have a little fire kit, which I can go into in a second. 2 survival blankets, or foil mylar blankets. Could be for medical purposes, or I have these more for emergency shelter just to keep warm. Another bag for a little less important, sunglasses. I don't have a sunglasses case, so these are just cheap sunglasses. More of a comfort thing, but if I had to walk in facing the sun, that could be really nice. I have a deck of playing cards, but that also have some survival information on them. You might say you don't need a deck of cards to survive, but it could, there's some info on them, but also that could make things a lot easier or more comfortable, and like mental health is an important factor to consider as well. Then I've got a little fishing kit, which I don't really know how to fish. I did it ages ago, so if I ever need to use this, I'm pretty well screwed, and I've considered not even having it in here, because I want to learn to fish better, but this is kind of if stuff really, really goes down, it could be really handy to have. And also the fishing line is multi-purpose. I could just use that as cordage. I have some extra filters for a mask that I'll show you in a second. And then I have, these are usually the top, these are just little earplugs so that, I don't think it's focused, but basically the reason I have them there, it can help you sleep in a crowded shelter or whatever, but it's more so when the alarms go off, like the fire alarms in my building, they're super loud, and if I'm gonna like grab something before I'm gonna head out the door, if I'm already woken up, I don't need to have my ears destroyed by the fire alarms. And then I just have a big garbage bag in there as well. I will break down this fire kit a little bit more. I have a Bic lighter, just in a sample tube to protect it. I have another Bic lighter. I have a ferro rod, which, you know, could be used more long-term to start a fire. I have a pack of little tinder things. I have a pack of stormproof matches, a pack of normal matches, and then I just have a little razor blade that I could use to kind of shave off tinder, or, you know, shave wood or whatever, and just the, you know, backup blade. And that is all I have up top. Now I can really get inside the bag. Right when we open it up, right at the very top, and this is probably the most extreme thing I got in here, is just a half-face respirator. So basically, you just chuck it on like that, clip it in the back, and it's only got one set of filters on it, and these are backup. And you know, this could protect you from a variety of things. The main reason I have it is, say there was smoke from a fire, and I had to deal with that, or maybe some sort of civil unrest situation where there were riots and riot control agents. But that's enough of that for now. You don't need to listen to me through that. But you know, you never know. Rather be safe than sorry. Or, you know, maybe a fast-spreading viral and highly deadly contagion. You know, pandemics can happen. And then I also have some goggles, which are not like chemical or airtight. They're more for impact. I thought about just putting in some like clear eye protection, but these could pair a little bit better with the mask, even though they don't fit together the best. But, you know, whether it's chopping wood or civil unrest or whatever, your eyes are important, so having some way to protect them would be really handy. Right underneath that, I have my med kit, which can do trauma stuff and also some medications and more like Band-Aids. And I will go through this at the very end. So I'll set that off to the side for now. But it's intentional that I have a mask and a med kit at the very top of my bag. Continuing on in, it's a little less sexy. Hygiene. So I won't break this all the way down, but I've got toilet paper, I've got some big wet wipes that I could use instead of like a shower. There's toothpaste, hand sanitizer, toothbrush, floss, which could also be used as cordage, and some soap. That's really what I keep in my hygiene section. Moving on, we got some clothing. I have an extra belt in here. I have a hat, I have some little gloves, I have a bandana, and then I have a long sleeve shirt, an extra pair of underwear, some extra hiking socks, and I don't have any pants in the kit right now, but I am looking to get some extra like hiking pants that maybe could zip into shorts. So that is one area I'm thinking about improving. Let's see. Let's do water. So off to the side in my pack, I have my water kit. First, I have a little Sawyer Squeeze filter for purifying water, and it's got these little bags attached to it. And I also have one extra real big bag that I can fill with. Basically, you fill this with dirty water, and you screw it, or a bag with dirty water, you screw the filter on, and then you can either drink straight out of this or like squirt it into a water bottle. These can actually also screw on to some like disposable water bottles, I know the Life Water or Smart Water bottles they screw on really nicely too. So that water filter is kind of my primary way of doing water. I also have a straw in here, which is why would I have a straw? That is if I didn't have a water bottle and I wanted to, say, use a plastic bag to put water purification tablets in. I could drink out of the clean water bag using the straw. This is just the cap to the bag that is attached to the filter. This is a water key. I think it has another name, but basically it has 4 different little square bits on the sides, and a lot of industrial or big facilities, like a church or a university, this can turn their hoses on the outside, because you can't just turn a knob. Usually they're locked, but this tool can open them and turn them on, and it does work at my university. So I could also just tap into most large buildings' water and get water that way. And then I also have water purification tablets. I use these little aqua tabs. I got the instructions for those. Got an extra book of matches just in case, and I also have some aluminum foil that I could also maybe mold into a container for water and maybe boil in if I absolutely had to, but I would not try and plan on boiling in tin foil. So let's just set that up top here and go back into the bag. You don't see these water keys in a lot of bags, but they're Silcock key, that's what it's called. Let's grab food. We just did water. So I'm actively working to improve my food. Don't judge me too hard. But I'll show you what I got right now, and then I'll tell you what my plans are for the future. My food comes in kind of 3 parts. First, I have just a whole bunch of granola bars. I've got some tea, some drink mixes, some coffee mix, but mostly just granola bars and some trail mix. Basically things that require no cooking, give you fast calories, give you energy if you've got to move a lot. It's also just what I had available. For something that would take a little bit more preparation, I've got 2 things of ramen. I know it's not the best. And then I have a can, also I know it's not the best, it's heavy, of chicken. I could also maybe boil water in this can or use it as a little stove, so it could serve double duty. But my plan is to replace almost all this food. I'll keep a couple of the granola bars and drink mixes with a thing of like lifeboat rations, like a Daytrex thing, and a couple Mountain House meals. But I haven't gotten out to buy those yet, so that's what I got for now. I'll save technology, but that's a fun one. We've got a thing of Powerade, so it could be Gatorade, whatever. Basically some energy drink. I used to just keep another like disposable bottle of water, but if I had to move a lot, having something with some electrolytes in it, a little bit of calories, some sugars and salts, and also hydration could help with that. And then I can always reuse this bottle to store more water in. But basically I like to have, you know, a decent bit of liquid on hand with me and plenty of containers to put more in. And then I also have a little cup that I can use for boiling water or cooking or whatever, and that just kind of nests in with the Powerade. Let's see, technology it is. So I keep almost everything in Ziploc bags to help keep it dry and just kind of keep it as a module. So it's in this little carrying case, which I like. In the front here, I won't pull it all out, but I'll pull it out. I've got some more Ziploc bags if I needed to waterproof, like, you know, put my phone in a Ziploc bag or something. It's got 2 compartments, so we'll go start on the first. All right, so first on this, well, I'll just give you a nice little glamour shot, if it'll focus. On the left side here in this big zipper pouch, I have a little Bofang radio, which this antenna can screw on in. Now this is technically a 2-way ham radio. I do not have a ham operator license, so it would be illegal for me to broadcast on it unless it were an emergency. So I don't broadcast on it, but I can still listen legally. Now I really just use this to listen to the NOAA weather stations. I used to be able to listen to the police on it, which is more useful, but they have since moved to, I think, like a trunked or truncated system or something like that. Where you need a more expensive scanner to pick them up, which I'm very bummed about because I could listen to my university police, I could listen to my local police and fire, which, you know, in an emergency could be very useful. I can't do that anymore, but I still keep it for the weather broadcasts, and I suppose in an absolute emergency, I could broadcast on it or coordinate with people who also use these. But really at this point, it's just for weather. Put technology over here. I have a wall box that converts, you know, to USB, and it still retains a plug. So I could really utilize it if I had one plug to the best of my ability. It's kind of cheap, so I want to get a better one. I'm looking at maybe like an Anchor one or something. But that's what I got for now. Some cash. Just thought it'd be a good place to keep it. Keep what you can if you're going to have your own bag. I think in my mind the sweet spot's maybe like $200 in mixed bills, but I'm a college student, so it really depends. Then I just have a couple zip ties if I needed to maybe, like, if I was worried about someone breaking into my bag, I could zip tie the zippers just to make it a little bit harder to get into, or I could use it for, like, organizing cords or fixing a whole variety of things. Then over here, and this side of it, oh my gosh, I forgot to show you guys some of the things that are right here on there's little zippers on my hip straps that I forgot to show you what's in. So sorry for the interruption, but you'll see why, because they coordinate. So on one side, I have a whistle, which I'm not going to blow right now because it's very loud. And then I also have in here a folding knife, which, because the blade length is under 3 inches, I'm allowed to have it at my university. But of course, that's also going to vary. If I wasn't here, I would have a larger fixed blade knife in my kit, but I cannot because of my university's regulations. And then I also have a little Gerber multi-tool. I won't go through all the things, but it's got, you know, a saw, some little knives on it, a can opener. I think having a multi-tool and a knife is pretty important. And that's it on this side. And then on the other side, which is why I remembered, I have this little O light, but basically you can use it as a flashlight and it can get pretty dang bright, but it also has a lot of nice settings. I'll try and figure out what it is in Nova, H2R Nova. But it also can clip in, or magnets in here, and then you can strap that around, and it's a headlamp, which is good to have, some hands-free light. But the reason why I remembered about it is because in this kit, there's the little pocket clip for it. So I'll leave that in there. I also have, or I can just point it out. I don't need to take everything out of here. I have a flashlight that isn't the best flashlight, but it will run on AA batteries. I have a phone charger for my iPhone. And then I also have a charger for my power bank, which I think is just whatever the Samsung phones use as well. I should know what those are called. USB something. Micro USB, maybe. Who knows? I'm not really a tech guy. And then on the other side, am I going to fall out? No. I have some more techie stuff. So I have a power bank, which I keep fully charged, which is not the best for the lithium-ion batteries, but I'd rather have a fully charged power bank. I have some headphones, wired headphones, more of a comfort item. I can listen to something downloaded on my phone, but also if I wanted to communicate, like have a phone call with someone, and not have everyone hear what was going on. If they were around me, it doesn't have a mic on it. And then I have 2 clips with 4 rechargeable AA batteries in it. And then I have a wall charger for those rechargeable batteries. And then I also have a little pack of non-rechargeable AAA batteries, because I don't think I have anything in this kit that is AAA. Everything is either has its own lithium-ion battery or runs off a AA. But those could be a barter item. Then in this little zip pocket, I might have to blur some of this, or if I can grab it carefully. Don't want to see my keys. But they're in there. I have extra car key, a little lockbox key, and then some extra house keys. And I'm going to just pocket those right now. I don't want anyone seeing my keys. And the reason I want people seeing my keys is you can actually go from a photo and it can help you pick the lock. I have a quarter, not just for, I suppose you could, use it as currency, but more as a tool for like prying or opening battery compartments or doing little screws, which I often find with technology stuff. And then I have a list of contacts, which I won't show you, and a USB drive with copies of important documents on it, copies of some photos. Also just like a bunch of PDFs about survival skills or resources. I've got a bunch of downloaded maps of my area on there. I also just have some backups of some things that would suck to lose, even like in a fire scenario. So I'm doing research at my university, so I have backups of a lot of my research data. I've got backups of some personal photos, backups of some essays I'm really proud of, if I lost my Google Drive or whatever, essays of like resumes or, certificates and whatever, because you can hold a lot in a USB drive. So I have backups of important digital stuff there, and then I also have the charger, the USB charger for that headlamp, because it just magnets on there, and that's the charger. So that is pretty snazzy. Another piece of technology that I have, that I think is ever more important in the modern age is a portable solar charger for my phone. I think this is the Rhino Tuft one. I've used it a couple times. It's pretty nice. It seems pretty durable. I've gotten pretty good charges on it. And these clips and the little loops mean that you can actually strap it on the back of a bag. So while you're hiking or walking, you can actually charge your phone. Or actually what you would probably do is charge up a power bank and then charge your phone from there or whatever from there. Oh, I'm going to have to be careful pulling this out. Let's see where's the good side. All right, I can show you this. I've got copies of important documents in here. I have a map of my state. I have some scrap paper for writing. I have laminated copies of my license, my birth certificate, my passport, some insurance papers, like insurance on my car and stuff like that, some legal stuff. I've got a couple other printouts. I've got some printouts of multiple different walking direction paths from my university to my house, to my girlfriend's house, to a couple other locations that I might need to get to, and also driving directions, specifically some that avoid the highways if I ever had to do that, because I know how to get there using the highway. I've got just some pens and a pencil and a Sharpie, I didn't really know where to put. I just have this little cordage. I also need to add paracord. I used to have paracord in my bag, but I used it for something else, which is not a good thing for being prepared to take it out, but I kind of needed it. So I need to get another thing of 550 cord in there. But I have a little thing of cordage. I've got a little survival booklet. And then also I have like $10 in here. So say I was like ever robbed or whatever, I could pull this out and it looks important and official, it's got some documents in it, and I could pull out 10 or 15, 20 bucks, whatever I got in there, and give it to them, and then hopefully they would leave me alone. Honestly, maybe should put this somewhere else in my bag. But yeah, so I'm gonna carefully set that to the side, because I don't need y'all seeing my birth certificate. And that is it for the main compartment. We are almost through, but I'm gonna pop this guy off. Just, accordions out, if I needed that, and just go to this main pouch down here. Not main pouch, bottom pouch. I have a big, thick zip, quarter zip. Just has some nice extra warmth. Or I suppose I could use it for a pillow if it was warmer outside. And then I have a down sleeping bag, which is old, and it's not like rated for super crazy cold weather, but that's where emergency blankets would come in if it was very cold outside. But, pairing the emergency blankets, maybe the garbage bag if it was wet. I don't have a tarp in here, which I'm considering adding. The ground mat and the sleeping bag. Even if it was pretty cold outside, I could always start a fire, but I could, it might not be the most fun night, but I could probably survive most of the weather we get around here. Or if not, I'd start a fire and deal with it. But a tarp is something that I'm considering adding. I don't think I'd ever add a tent to this bag. Maybe if I had a go bag that was more like from my house, but I don't foresee a situation, and I also don't own a small enough tent where I would really want that for this bag. So I can kind of show you the bag a little bit more now that it's empty. But that is pretty much it. There's a rain fly for the bag at the bottom here. I think I stashed maybe just like a garbage bag or two around in the very bottom of it. Alright, so I'm going to go through the med kit that I keep in my bug-out bag. And I keep this right on the top of the bag, but I'm going to go through it last in case people want to dip out of the video that they don't miss the other parts of it. So looking right in at the top, I have it organized in two sides. Basically, there's just a divider in here. And I am thinking about getting a little bit more organized in the med kit, but again, I'm working with what I have. I don't have unlimited resources. I am a college student. Forgive me. On the right side, I have non-emergency medical, and on the left side, I have emergency medical. So we're going to go through the emergency medical first, because that's the stuff that you want to be most easy to grab. So first off, right easy, I have a tourniquet for stopping massive bleeding in a limb. Now, if you have a tourniquet, you should practice using it, because it's not the hardest thing to use, but it's not the easiest, and time counts. Then I have an Israeli bandage, or a pressure dressing, which basically can be used to apply a bandage to a wound, and then it has elastic that gets wrapped around to create a lot of pressure on that wound. I have just a little bit of like a quick clot sponge. Basically what this does is it helps blood to clot a little bit faster, and you could use that for a wound that was bleeding a decent bit. In a similar vein, in terms of emergency gauze, I have this Z-fold gauze, which is nice and packaged, vacuumed. So it's really small, but basically it's gauze that instead of being in a roll, it's just kind of folds out. I suppose a lot like my sleeping mat. And that could be if you had to like pack a wound. You could open this up and just kind of push it in there, which would be easier to deal with than a roll. And then I have another emergency blanket for treating shock. I have just a big kind of beat up but piece of gauze. I have a chest seal, or actually a set of two chest seals. This is sticky and airtight, basically, and can kind of help the diaphragm to repressurize a little bit. I have some gloves, and I have a scalpel, which I wouldn't be doing surgery. It would more be maybe trimming dead skin away from a wound, or just having a second sterile knife, fishing out something like, a big splinter. Or then I also have some trauma shears. You can cut someone's clothing off, or they help to cut bandages. Cuts it a lot easier than a knife does. But that is the kind of emergency medical side of things. And then we're going to go on to the other side, which you can't really see very well. Starting off, I just have this bag here, which holds some odds and ends. I've got some extra earplugs. I have a roll of athletic tape. I've got a roll of Coban wrap to hold bandages in place. I have a little roll of gauze. I have a Benadryl itch stick, which helps with bug bite itches. And then I have, I don't know if you can see them in there, some tweezers, which definitely have tweezers. And I should also add some nail clippers to here, because that can, if you're out in the field, you don't want to have your nails bugging you. And I have assorted Band-Aids and some alcohol wipes, from some small ones to some bigger ones. And then I also have some butterfly closures or butterfly bandages in here that, instead of stitches, could help close up a more gash of a wound. And then I also have a big thing of moleskin, which you can't really see. But that is for blisters. If you're going to be walking a lot and you're not used to it, especially if you're not in the best footwear, which I keep good footwear near this bag, you might have to treat some blisters. Now we're getting towards the bottom, and I have just a couple of note cards. Really, so just if I had to write anything down, just another source of paper, keep notes of medications or symptoms or whatever. I have a little Fresnel lens, magnifying glass. Ooh, can I get it? Nah. I could probably start a fire with this, maybe if I had a lot of sun, but it's more for getting a close examination on a wound or a splinter or something like that. Or really, a close look at anything, reading something close up. I've got some caffeine pills. If you're addicted to coffee, that could be a hard one to kick, so that might be nice to have. Probably a good barter item, or if you had to be on watch or walk through the night or whatever. A little bit of duct tape wrapped around a piece of a hotel credit card, or a hotel card, key card. And then finally I have a little Altoids tin with some medications and stuff in it. First of all, I have some water purifications at the top. I'm all about redundancy and keeping things in different places. So say I only had this med kit, at least I would still have water purification tablets, because having some sort of clean water, pretty important for medical situations. I have some Tums or antacid pills. I'm not going to show you these up close, but I take some prescription medication, and so I have a couple days worth of that, which I will just set off to the side. I have some antihistamines, Benadryl, that can be used for treating allergies, or if someone's having some sort of allergic reaction. They also make you sleepy, so if you really need to get some sleep, you could take that. And speaking of sleep, I also have some melatonin sleeping pills. In fact, I should probably put a few more in there. Now I have a bunch of antidiarrheals, and that's because if you're gonna, you get some bad water or whatever, or food poisoning, normally diarrhea is just a pain in the butt. That was not intentional. But in, a survival situation, that can be life or death, because it can lead to dehydration. I get motion sickness, so I have some Dramamine. If I had to take a long bus ride out of somewhere, or something like that, I don't really want to be dealing with motion sickness, so I have a couple of those. I just have some ibuprofen. I want to add some Tylenol and maybe some aspirin, just have some more painkiller options. And that is that. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. It really helps me reach new people. And if you want to see more stuff like this, I do kind of camping, bushcraft, building videos, some biology stuff. I do a lot of different stuff, a bit of an eclectic mix on my channel. But if you like that, subscribe if you want to see me again. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something. If you're building your own get-home bag or have some suggestions for me, I'd really love to hear about that in the comments. But that's all I have for you today, and as always, I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day.